Hi guys, welcome back to Maths with OG. This section will be looking at Bodmas. What's Bodmas? I know most of us must have heard of it already. It's simply the order in which you should use mathematical operation, not just mathematical operation, basic mathematical operation. These are the basic mathematical operation. In our subsequent classes, you will understand that we have a lot of mathematical operation, but these are just the basic ones when you just start answering questions in mathematics. So in what order do we use these guys? The acronym is BODMAS, and the all these letters stand for different operation. So the B in BODMAS stands for brackets. So it means that whenever you are solving questions and you see a bracket, handle what is inside the bracket first. Next, O is what we call order. So what is order? You can also call it exponent. I know most of you have mistaken this for off, but that's not off, because if this is off, what's the difference between off and multiplication? Because off is actually multiplication. So you can correct that. Your O is order, not off. So order is exponent. For example, you have something like this, 2 raised to the power of 3. This is what we call order, because this 3 is an exponent. So if you see a question like 4 multiplying 2 raised to the power of 3, since order is coming first, the rule is that you solve 2 raised to the power of 3 first, which is 8. We'll do that in indices before multiplying 8 by 4. So your answer should be 32. You are not supposed to do 4 times 2 first, which is 8, then raised to the power of 3. That is wrong. So 2 raised to the power of 3 first, 8 multiplied by 4, 32. Not 4 times 2, 8 raised to the power of 3. Whatever answer you get is a what? Wrong answer. So that's that for order. So after you solve bracket, the next thing you should solve is order. So after order, you have division, multiplication. You can see that I enclose this, meaning that you can solve these guys simultaneously. So you can do multiplication before division. You can also do division before multiplication. You will get exactly the same answer. 2 multiply by 9 divided by 3. A says that 2 times 9 is 18. 18 divided by 3 is 6. B said no, I want to do 9 divided by 3 first, which is 3. That 3 multiplied by 2 is also what? 6. So whether I multiply before dividing or I divide before multiplying, my answer is the same. C can also come and say no, I want to bring this division to come first. So I'll do 2 divided by 3 multiplied by 9. The same thing. 3 here, 1, 3 here, 3. 3 times 2 is what? 6. So for multiplication and division, you can answer them simultaneously. But I have to work on these two first before I move on to addition or subtraction, which I can also answer simultaneously. So bracket come first, before order, before division or multiplication, before addition or subtraction. Now that we know that, let's play with the following questions. Now the very first question here, we are given 2 whole number 1 over 6 minus 1 whole number 2 over 3, dividing 2 whole number 2 over 3. So we have a bracket, so we have to deal with what is in the bracket first. You can see that what is inside the bracket is subtraction, and division comes before subtraction. But since this is enclosed in a bracket, I have to deal with this first before I do the division. Now let's solve. I think I can easily change these guys to a proper fraction because they are not actually big, because I know that 1 over 6 minus 2 over 3 will be giving me a negative answer. So I don't have the situation whereby I will now start, or I will remove 1 from the whole number part to the fractional part. So let's just change to improper fraction. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1 is 13. Minus, this is 3 plus 2, 5. 5 over 3. Dividing 2 whole number 2 over 3. LCM here is 6. 6 into 6 is 1. 1 times 13 is 13. Minus 3 into 6 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Dividing 2 whole number 2 over 3. So this will give us 3 over 6 dividing 2 whole number 2 over 3. 3 over 6 is simply 1 over 2. So we have 1 over 2 dividing 2 whole number 2 over 3. Now let's change this guy to improper fraction. So this will be 1 over 2 dividing 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 over 3. So this is 1 over 2 multiplying 3 over 8. So 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 8 is simply 16. So my answer is 3 over 16. So that's that for the first question. Now the second question, we are given 3 over 4, divide one whole number 1 over 4, multiplying one whole number 1 over 2 minus 2 over, okay, let's solve it somewhere else. Let's wipe this. We are done with this already. So like I was saying, 3 over 4, divide one whole number 1 over 4, multiplying one whole number 1 over 2 minus 2 over 3. So I can solve what is inside the bracket first. So let's drop this guy. 3 over 4, dividing 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1, 5. So I just simply change this improper fraction, sorry, this mixed fraction to improper fraction, multiplying what I have here. This is 3 over 2 minus 2 over 3. So I can change this guy to multiplication. I have not done anything. This is 3 over 4 multiplying 4 over 5, multiplying LCM here is 6. 2 into 6 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 3 into 6 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So this will give us 3 over 4 multiplying 4 over 5 multiplying 5 over 6. 4 cancel 4, 5 cancel 5, 3 here 1, 3 here 2. So my answer is 1 over 2. So that's the answer to this question. Then the next question, this is what we call order. So we have two whole number 3 over 4 all squared dividing 3 whole number 1 over 3 of 2 whole number 3 over 4. Remember, of is simply multiplication. So 2 whole number 3 over 4, let's change to improper fraction. 4 times 2 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 over 4 raised to the power of 2. Dividing 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1, 10. 10 over 3, off is multiplication. 4 times 2 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 over 4. So 11 over 2, sorry, 11 over 4 all square is simply 11 times 11 all over 4 times 4. I don't want to express it because as I can see here, something will cancel out. So let's just leave this as 11 times 11 all over 4 times 4. Now this is dividing 10 times 11 all over 3 multiplied by 4. Now let's change this guy to multiplication and invert the fraction. Change to multiplication, invert the fraction. So if I do that here, this will be 11 multiplying 11 all over 4 multiplying 4 multiplying. So we have 3 multiplying 4 all over 10 multiplying 11. 11 cancels 11. 4 cancel 4. I think that's as far as we can go. Now 11 times 3 is 33 for the numerator. 4 times 10 is 40 for the denominator. That's the answer to that question. Now the next question. Let me wipe here. I can put that here. 3 whole number 3 over 4 dividing 2 whole number 1 over 7 of 11 2 over 3 minus 5. Now we have to solve the bracket first. I think I wiped off one question, so it's too late. So let's focus on the one we have. So that was a mistake on my part. Subsequently, maybe when we are answering questions on this topic, we can branch that question again. So we have 3 over 4. So this guy here will give us 12 plus 3 is 15. 15 over 4 dividing open bracket. Remember, off is multiplication. I have a minus sign here. I cannot subtract when I have not multiplied. I cannot subtract when I have not multiplied. So I have to multiply first before subtracting. So 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. 15 over 7. Off is multiplication. 3 times 11 is 33 plus 2 is 35. So I have 35 over 3 minus 5. Like I just said, I can't subtract when I have not multiplied. Now let's multiply. 7 here, 1. 7 here, 5. 3 here, 1. 3 here, 5. So at the numerator, I have 5 times 5, which is 25. Denominator, I have 1 times 1, which is 1. 25 over 1 is simply 25. So this is 15 over 4 dividing 25 minus 5. So we have 15/4 dividing 20. Now 20 is the same thing as 20/1. So I'll change it to multiplication and invert the fraction. So that will give us 15/4 multiplying 1/20. 5 here 3, 5 here 4. So 3 times 1 will give us 3, 4 times 4 will give us 16. So we are left with one last question. This is not necessarily Bodmas, but I believe it falls under operation in fraction. So when you are solving a question like this, where the fraction is almost looking complex, you start your solution from the denominator. That means the most bottom of the fraction. You start solving from there till you get to the top part. So let's use this as a case study to explain what I mean by that. So we're going to start from this bottom part. So as I'm solving, I'll try and solve by writing everything. So as we are solving, it will be getting smaller and smaller till we get to the final answer. So we'll start from this bottom part. So I'll be left with 1 plus. I don't like this guy in improper in mixed fraction. Let's change to improper fraction. 10 times 1 is 10 plus 1. We have 11/10, representing that all over 2 plus 1 whole number 2 all over 7 minus 2 is simply 5. Now we have 2 plus 1 whole number 2 over 5. Remember, 1 whole number 2 over 5 is the same thing as 1 plus 2 over 5. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So we'll be left with 3 whole number 2 over 5. So this is simply 1 plus 11/10 all over 3 whole number 2 over 5. Now let's change this guy to improper fraction. So this will give us 1 plus 11/10 all over 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 2 is 17. We have 17/5. Now before we proceed, let me mention some things under fraction. In fraction, whenever you see something like this, A all over B over C, be rest assured that your answer is AC over B. Now you ask yourself, how did we get that? This simply means A divide B over C, which will give us A multiply C over B, and that is simply AC over B. Now, let's say we have it as A over B all over C. This will give us A over BC. How did we come up with that? This is A over B dividing C, which is equal to A over B multiplying 1 over C. So your answer here should be A over what? BC. Lastly, when you are having A over B all over C over D, this will give us AD all over BC. A times D all over B times C. How did we come up with that? This is A over B dividing C over D, which will give us A over B multiplying D over C, which is AD over what? BC. So following that approach, this guy here will give us 1 plus 11/10. 5 will go to the numerator, multiplying by 5, and 17 will go to the denominator, multiplying by 17. So I can boldly say 5 here 1, 5 here 2. So this is equal to 1 whole number plus 11 numerator, denominator 2 times 17 is 34. So that is 1 whole number 11/34. So that's the answer to the last question. That's how you approach questions under Bodmas. Take note of the operations and remember which operation should come first, which should come next till the very last operation. Now thanks for watching this video. In our next video, we'll be moving on to percentages. Percentages are simply fraction, but a special type of fraction. So under percentages, we'll be learning how to convert from percentage to decimal, from decimal to percentage, from percentage to fraction, to normal fraction, from fraction to percentage, even increment in percentage, decrease in percentage, then your profit and loss, and everything that percentage covers. So that's what we'll look at in our next video. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, kindly use the like button. Also, use the subscribe button and share to friends. If there's any problem with our solution, use the comment section. If there's any question you feel like asking, use the comment section. Thanks for watching once more, and see you guys in my next video.